So this is a quick tutorial just to give you some tips and hints for the vase. As you can see, I've already traced the outside of the vase. Here, I'm going to go ahead and lock the template. So this is the JPEG and I just locked the template. So I've traced the outside of the vase here. The directions say to use the reflect tool. You can usually find that here, and sometimes it's underneath this. Your scale tool may be highlighted. So you're going to select reflect, double click on the reflect, and select copy here. So now I have the reverse of those edges, of that outline of the vase. So I'm going to move over and use the direct select tool. Select a point or an anchor at the very top, Command plus sign to zoom in. I'm going to select, I see I need to move this down just a little bit so that they are even. And of course you can use the guides. You can pull the guides up by Command R, and that'll give you the rulers on the top. So we're on the direct select tool. I'm going to select the first point, hold down Shift, and the second. So I'm looking for the anchors. I'm going to do Object, Path, Average. That way the space between them will come together. And then Object, Path, Join. So I'll do that for the top. Command minus sign to zoom out. I'm using the space bar and pulling up until I go to the very, very bottom. And I'll do the same for these points. Select the first point, hold down Shift, select the second point, Object, Path, Average, both the vertical and the horizontal, and then Object, Path, Join. Now I see I have a little angle here, so I'm just gonna adjust the Bezier curves and pull that down just a little bit. So I'm going to repeat that for the edges and the detail. So I've drawn one side of these edges. I'm going to click in the top and drag all the way down, just to make sure I grab all of them. Go back to the reflect tool, double click. It's already set to repeat pretty much what I just did. So I'm going to select copy again. And now I have all of the edges that I need for the piece. Before I put the edges on, I want to make cutouts for the handles. So in order to do that, I'm going to place these two pieces that I made here and make sure they're on top. I'm going to select everything and choose minus front. So if they're not on the top, it's okay. I'm going to go to my properties menu and then Object, Arrange, Bring to the front, just to make sure they're both in the front. So now I should be able to select them and minus front. Now it's a cutout space. So if I give this a white fill, like going here, double clicking in the fill. So I'm giving it a white fill. Now it's a cutout space instead of three separate objects. Now I can go in and I'll move these also to the front. Object, Arrange, Bring to the front. And I want to join these paths as well. So I can even click and drag and grab those two pieces, Object, Path, Average, and then Object, Path, Join. And the same should go for these because they are also separate items. So I'm going to hold down Shift and just move them apart so that you could see them. And then again, direct select tool. Just going to grab these 2 points, object, path, average, click OK, and then object, path, join. Don't forget to join after you average, otherwise there'll still be 2 separate paths. So average, click OK, object, path, join. So now you have your pieces, and then you'll do the same here in the bottom, object, path, average, object, path, join. And I can already tell we're going to have to make a few changes to that bottom one, which we know how to do because we had the 3 activities we did before this one. So now I'm going to go ahead and place in the details, right? So the details that come along with the vase. And we're going to make some slight detail, like slight changes on the path, just to make sure everything lines up. I'm going to use the arrow keys to move things around. So I'm going to take this top, and I'm going to go object, group, just to make sure that they move together when I do move them. This is isolation mode. To get out of it, you just hit escape. So we have this area here and this area here that we're just going to pull in. And then I'm going to the direct select tool to make this a little bit more round. So how I did that was I just converted the anchor to a curve. So I'll show you that again. Right now it's at an angle. I'm just going to convert that to a curve. And I'm going between the selection tool and direct select tool, and just bounding box, moving around the bounding box to make an adjustment. And if I don't like it, it's okay. I can go over to the vase itself and just recreate the line to place it where it goes. And I can extend it by just grabbing the corners of the bounding box. I'm going to change all of the stroke weights just to be 0.13. And I see I also have a line here that I want to go ahead and place in, and maybe it's one of these. I think I have them on the wrong side, and that's okay. We can just grab them. And move them as we wish. So for these ones, I think I'm just gonna make them a little different. Redo these ones, which is totally fine. If you come to a place where you're like, I don't really care for how that looks, you can go in and place each of these. And now I can grab this same one, go over to reflect, hit copy. And I'm hitting Command Z whenever I accidentally move something in the wrong way. And I can use the direct select tool to just grab this anchor and pull it up. And I can do the same for the bottom. I'm using the pin tool. It gets a little tricky when you're on points, on anchors, so just keep that in mind. All right, so there's the vase. Feel free to make sure, there might be a few other changes, changing angles to curves that you might have to work on as you're working. So just, try to do your best to get it as close to the example as possible.